Speaking of acquisitions, Microsoft is looking to acquire Discord for about $10 billion. This would be the biggest deal since Microsoft bought LinkedIn back in 2017. Remember, Microsoft last year also bought the game publisher ZeniMax. If that name means nothing to you, they are the owners of Bethesda Studios for about $7 billion last year. Microsoft continues to find ways to diversify itself and also to find ways to provide more value for its large customer base and for both its consumer division and also its corporate division. An acquisition of Discord shows that Microsoft is very serious about making gaming a key aspect of its growth. However, Discord has also held talks with Epic and also with Amazon. And also Discord might just end up going public on their own. So you got to put all that into context and be like, we don't really know what's happening. Right now, they're just having talks about, well, we want to buy you guys. You guys are worth $7 billion. We'll buy you for $10 billion. How about that? You walk away with a nice $3 billion profit. How about that? How about that? You want to sell? How about you sell? Moving on from there, let's talk about my favorite investing platform, which is M1 Finance, which just raised $75 million from a Series D funding on March 9th. They are approaching $4 billion under management. I think they're about a 3.8 something billion dollars under management, which is massive for a startup that just started back in 2015, if I'm remembering correctly. M1 is my favorite platform, and their stake to fame is the fact that they are an alternative to the gamified nature of Robinhood, but also an alternative to the investment stalwarts of Fidelity and Charles Schwab. However, M1 does not just want to be an investing platform. They want to be your one-stop shop for all things money. They already have things like M1 Spend, which is their checking account. And then the CEO, Brian Barnes, says that, unquote, says, we'll move into other forms of borrowing, whether that is mortgages, HELOCs, personal loans, and auto loans. They're already moving into the credit card space, so they might be able to have higher rewards, higher spending limits, and more personalized things. I, for one, I'm a huge fan of this platform. So if anybody knows the CEO, Brian Barnes, please hook a brother up so I can get him on the podcast and I can ask a few questions about M1 Finance, because I just want to talk to the dude because I think the dude is very smart. So if you got a hookup and you know how to get in touch with Brian Barnes, because he's not on Twitter, so if you know how to get in touch with him, let the brother know so I can get him on the pod and we can have a discussion about M1 Finance, about some of the things that are going on in the market and where he might be seeing the future of M1 Finance. Moving on from there, apparently everybody, speaking of investing in the stock market, everybody just throwing their stimulus money into the stock market. Deutsche Bank estimates that as much as $170 billion from the latest round of stimulus payments will flow into the stock market. So that is good because, I love when people are starting to invest and starting to plan for the future ahead. However, I just hope everybody's not just like YOLOing it into things like GameStop or AMC or BlackBerry or any one of these other meme stocks or something like that. Make sure that you're doing your due diligence if you are investing and you're doing the things that are best for you. And plus, remember, there's a hierarchy when it comes to investing. First, you want to start off with having an emergency fund. Do you have that? No, then you probably shouldn't be investing. Then paying off your debt. You got that? No, then probably pay off your debt. And then start off with investing. And even with investing, you want to start off with Roth IRA. So that way you don't have to pay taxes on that money, So just keep that in mind if you are starting to invest in the market. I hope you enjoyed that little snippet of the Rambling Mind podcast. If you want more of the Rambling Mind podcast, or if you want to listen to the whole episode that you just heard, go check it out on any podcast listening platform, whether that be Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Breaker, Stitcher. I could go on, but you guys already know which podcast you love to use to listen to. So go check it out. Link down in the description as well. I'm going to catch y'all